Today's topic is going to be Veterans Treatment Court. And I'm going to read you guys a statement about Veterans Treatment Court, and then you're going to learn all about how it works, what it takes to get into it, what you have to, pre-qualifications, and how the program works. And Black Evie will lay down some administrative key points you need to know about the program, the who, what, when, where, and why. And then Host J-Mac, he going to really let you in behind the scenes and let you know how to work the program so the program works for you. VTC is their acronym they go by. Here's the statement so you guys know where we're coming from. VTCs are specialized voluntary court supervision programs designated to divert justice-involved veterans out of the traditional criminal justice system. They focus on rehabilitation by addressing the root causes of criminal behavior, such as PTSD, traumatic brain injury, also known as TBI, and substance abuse. Now, local resources in Cincinnati, Ohio, if you got a loved one or yourself, y'all navigating the justice system in the Cincinnati area, dedicated diversion programs are in place to assist in the Hamilton County courts, which run dedicated specialized dockets for felon veterans treatment court. So you can get help as a veteran if you have a felony through Veterans Treatment Court. I can't wait till we unbox this one. And furthermore, if you want to inquire about getting connected prior to your trial, you can call pretrial services at 513-946-5800. Now keep in mind, Black Evie gonna come back around behind me and further give you other contact information. But before I pass the mic to Black Evie, and then J-Mac's gonna follow up with how it is in it, I want to lay down some more information, like how the program actually works. The Veterans Treatment Court, VTC, is a holistic treatment, meaning that participants work closely with the Veterans Administration, the VA, and mental health professionals to complete personalized, evidence-based treatment plans. That's very important because it's not like it's a group effort, it's an individualized journey. So what you need, it has judicial oversight. You will have regular court appearances in front of a designated judge who will actively monitor your progress. You got peer mentorship. You are frequently paired with a volunteer veteran mentor who provides personal guidance and support throughout the process. You're not alone. And the completion of it, you successfully complete the program, which typically takes a year to a year and a half, and often leads to charges being reduced, dismissed, or an alternative to incarceration. I'm going to give you a snapshot of the eligibility and criteria. While exact requirements vary by jurisdiction, standard eligibility typically includes veteran status. This is important. You have to be honorably discharged from the military or an active duty veteran. Clinical need. You have to be diagnosed with a mental health condition or a substance use issue tied to the individual's military experience. Legal qualifications. Approval by the prosecuting attorney and the judge. Non-violent offenses are prioritized, though some programs also handle felony dockets. And I know for a fact the one in Cincinnati, Ohio, handles a felony docket. So, with that being said, now you know a little bit about the statement and the foundation of the program. Black Evie is going to give you now some more administrative points and key interests about how to get to the program, and then I can't wait till our host J-Mac follows up again with how it really works. So Black Evie, it's on you.
Question first. In reference to the Veterans Court, do they only take it at the felony level or do they do misdemeanors as well?
No, they do both.
Can I jump in real quick? It handles felonies, but its basic program is that it's handling veterans that had substance abuse problems that got them in some type of trouble. You can also be what's called a not honorably discharged. They have where you're not honorably discharged or you're not dishonorably discharged. It's like a middle ground. They would work with you then again, and like Mitra said, it depends on what type of felony it was. Like, it can't be a violent felony. They cannot be a victim, anything like that. Most of the time, you can say it's a self-inflicted wound, more or less.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Understandable. Okay. So now on that note, I'm going to focus on the felony aspect of it. If you did something and it resulted in a felony, this information is more towards that end. So, what is the Hamilton County Felony Veterans Treatment Court? It is a court that is supervised, comprehensive treatment collaborative, whose goal is to help address the issues that lead to a veteran's contact with the criminal justice system, just as JMAC just mentioned, on certain levels. This voluntary program includes regular court appearances before the Veterans Treatment Court judge. Treatment is provided through the combined efforts of the Hamilton County Probation Department, the Veterans Administration, and other community agencies. And it may include in-group counseling, drug testing, and regular attendance at self-help meetings. Now, the overview is that participants are required to sign a contract in court. All right? And this is what kicks it off for the veterans to start on a better path, start healing themselves. This contract is an agreement between the veteran and the judge. The contract explains what is expected and the consequences for non-compliance. Okay? So your do's and don'ts, your wills and won'ts, that's presented all up front so that you know what you're signing up for. The veteran will work with the treatment team to identify goals that the veteran will work towards while in the program. Those goals may include trauma-related treatment, returning to school, job skills training, and all of that upskilling, we all that. Counseling, employment, substance use treatment, medication compliance, reconnecting with the family, strengthening supports in the community, accessing benefits, and securing safe and stable housing. It's an umbrella. It's a wraparound service with the veteran. Okay, so I'm going to stop there, pause, and pass it to J-Mac.
Ooh, J-Mac, you ready?
I don't know. Yeah, thank you, Evie. And to piggyback on what you said, is also to bring you back into civilian life. It's a transaction, and sometimes that would happen. Veterans, we get caught up in whatever it was we was doing in the military. So what this program does, it evaluates you before you accept it. It's not automatic. You do have to, like Mitra said, meet certain criteria. However, it is designed for you not to fail. The only reason you're going to fail this program is because you failed the program. You have so many entities in place to help you. Now, how it works is you actually go in front of a veterans judge and y'all talk about the situation, and then he decides then whether you are eligible for that program. Once that is determined, you have to have what is an outside team. You also have an inside team, but you have an outside team, like the entities you was talking about earlier. And I'm going to give a shout out to one of them. They are the Joseph House. Shout out to the Joseph House.
Always.
They are a part of the Veterans Court system. They do an outstanding job. appreciate them. What happens is you are evaluated, and there are stages. You go through different stages. You have 5 phases, and then on the 6th one, you come out and you graduate. During each one of these stages, um, your phases rather, you are required to have counseling. You are required to do group therapy and individual therapy. You also have to have a probation officer who guides you in what you're doing. You have peer support. There are so many different individuals that are backing you up to see that you don't fail, you know. And it's a very unique program. And the one in Hamilton County was actually the first one started in the state of Ohio. There are a couple of more, but in 1989, the original one was started in Florida because of, the guys was coming back, our vets was coming back, and they was having problems with drugs and alcohol. And they was getting locked up, and the courts is more like, well, why are we locking these people up? We need to help them because we're just making a vicious cycle. So Florida started it, and here in Ohio, Hamilton County was the first one to implement it in Ohio.
It's nice to see that we led the state. You know, I really like that.
Yeah, actually the first one. And of course there's Butler County, I think.
Yeah, Butler's the other one,
You
yeah.
got Butler County. And they work with other entities besides the Joseph House, but that's just one I'm partial to if you couldn't tell. It's a very big organization that does very quiet work. I don't think they get enough praise for what they do and the lives that they change. It's amazing. These people work really hard, and they have got to be dedicated to what they're doing because it takes a lot of work to get just one vet, up and running. They really do care about your progress. They're not really, really strict on you, but they do expect results, and they do expect you to do what you're supposed to be doing. And so saying that, I'm going to pass it on to Mitra.
I guess I'm up next.
Can I just interject just for a second?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to just give a quick shout out to Hamilton County because I love how Hamilton County is the ground in Ohio and C for pilot projects in the nonprofit sector. I love it. I love how, and a lot of these programs people don't know about. And just to that point, next week our show is going to be about. I'm gonna give it up. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Say what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But our next week's show is going to be about hidden resources. Okay, there are all kind of resources hidden in the fine print, hidden right in front of your face. So we're gonna explore that next week. But I'm sorry, shout out to Hamilton County for setting off pilot projects in the nonprofit organization.
I gotta snap them up too. I really do. Cincinnati as a whole, every time you cross that Ohio River, you're in the north, and it makes itself available to setting the pace for freedoms and liberties and support. And Veterans Treatment Court has definitely been pioneered in this state by Cincinnati. I would like to give the same shout out to Veterans Treatment Court, Hamilton County Court System, and Joseph House, because they are helping save lives. I think I'm gonna jump in to some questions for J-Mac, since he has an inside, advantage, bird's eye view of it. So one of my questions to you, which you kind of already answered it, but I want you to narrow it down to like the Veterans Treatment Court, and you can include your opinion about the Joseph House, because it kind of work together. But what if you had to say one thing? I'm curious. You only get one thing. What's your wow factor about it? What made you sit back and say, "Wow, that's it. That's your eureka moment"?
Simple. They believe.
Ooh,
They honestly believe that you can make a change, and that plays a big factor in a lot of it for us vets that have to go through the process. That somebody actually believes with help that they can make it, and they honestly really emphasize that it's up to you. It's not like they're tying your hands or anything. Let me tell you one thing about how this actually works. You are not confined. You can walk away at any time, you know. But that's on you. And if you walk away, of course, there's consequences to it. But it's not like you're, in my opinion, you're not bonded. You know. Again, you have certain criteria, certain rules, certain regulations, and everything that you need to follow. And honestly, in the real world, if you out there and you have a habit, a drug habit or alcohol habit, you just flip the script on that. You'll follow rules and regulations to do that, okay? There's a certain thing you got to do to get that drug. There's a certain thing you got to do to get your alcohol. So just kind of on the flip side of that, there's a certain thing you want to do. Who doesn't want their freedom?
Preach.
Okay, so if they're saying, okay, look, just do this, and there's a couple of things that I like to emphasize. Number one, it clears your mind. It gets you healthy. It opens up doors for you because, you know, a lot of these guys that's coming out of vet court and they tell employees that they are in vet court and they are in the program, they will snatch them up in a heartbeat because they know they're getting structure. They know they're getting, they're getting some kind of groundwork to keep them level and to keep them, to get them back into society, probably like they maybe were before they got into this mess. Did it answer your question?
And my next 5 questions, but I do have some more questions. I'm gonna try to space them out over the show. Black Evie, do you have something you want to add?
I'm sitting here and I'm listening and I'm like, in order for us to move forward in life, in whatever it is, we like to think that we can just do it ourselves as an individual. But it always takes a team, right? You gotta have a dedicated, loyal team that is behind you. And as J-Mac said, they believe in you. At the beginning of all this, the team was the public defender, right? We had to do J-Mac endeavors. Mitri and I had to make sure that he was okay and he was safe, okay? So in order to do that, we had to track down where he was. He had gotten into a situation. He needed legal representation. When you can't find somebody in the court system, just in case nobody knows, because I think all Cincinnatians know this, but if you can't find somebody in the court system, in the jail system, you call the public defender's office. Because by right, by law, that individual has to have a public defender on their case if they don't call an actual paid lawyer. Okay? So you call the public defender's office, you can locate your person. And that is what Mitri and I did to help J-Mac. And that furthered the public defender's team because she was one person. So I'm just sitting here and I'm like, the start of it was there. Shout out to, what's her name?
Brittany. Shout out to,
shout out to her because she was the start of all this.
Brittany Mills.
And she introduced the program. So had it not been for her, we would know. And I'm really saying something about her because she fought for it. She really did. She fought for it. She stayed on it. She made sure that an individual was in the correct place in order to get the rehabilitation that they needed to move forward in life. So shout out.
I second that for real. I second that shout out. I mean, I didn't mean to cut you off. I apologize.
I was
Yeah.
done.
Before I hand this mic back to J-Mac, I really want to ask J-Mac another question. And I want to second that shout out to Brittany Mills, the public defender, because a lot of people like to rephrase the public defenders as public pretenders, saying that they don't care nor do their job. But like Black Evie just said, we didn't have to actively push Brittany. Brittany delivered above and beyond. She would call. She gave me direct contact to her. She was very supportive, understanding. Some of the frustrations that we shared, she shared them, and others we didn't even know that we should have. She shared with us so we could learn. I can't say enough about the Hamilton County court system, and I wish people would stop, attacking public defenders and calling them public pretenders. And am I guilty of that? At one point I was guilty of that, just going around with everybody else because I never needed one. And everybody would tell me, messed up stories about it. So at the end of the day, I am transparent enough to admit that I was wrong about that. They work hard, they work diligent, and they really helped out our family. So since we are on that shout out portion of it, J-Mac, that is one of my questions. Could you share some of the key players that you've been in contact with that help you and lead you? Like who's interacting and what their roles, and shout them out too.
Okay, I'm gonna get back to Brittany real quick, and this is the point. You got to understand the difference between a public defender, number one, and a lawyer. There's a difference. A lot of people don't understand. A lawyer gets paid. A public defender goes into a pool, and they have to use the resources that they got, i.e., they need money, okay, to investigate, to have people on boots on the ground, so to speak, like the military. They don't have them resources, so they have to work with what they got. You take a lawyer, he gets 10 grand, okay, he's got resources now. He can pay people to put him out there to do the investigating for him and stuff when he don't have to do that. On the other hand, Brittany had to do this by herself, but she also had a team with her that, they navigated this together, but she did the legwork. So you got to understand, some people won't just go through the motion. Thank God Brittany wasn't one of them. She really put it in, and she did a lot of hard work. Now, the other part of the team, once I got into that court, was this. Of course, I had these different people that I had to deal with. And the first one was Judge Wagner. He is the presiding judge over Hamilton County vet court in that particular county. There's more judges, but he's the one that I interact with. So shout out to him. And he's, he's very patient, and he understands, and he's going to give you a little leeway, but don't stick your head in the guillotine with him now, because he will chop it off. Okay, and you also hear some more key players. You have Ralph Sanders, he is the PO, and you have the VA case manager, that is Annie Clark, your court coordinator, and he's the man. He's the one that put it in. Greg Street, he coordinates everything where you can get into the court to even be addressed, by Judge Wagner. And you have your bailiff, Cheryl Vest, and she keeps it close to the vest. You're going there clowning now. She's going to let you know. And these are some of the key players that's in there. And all these people, they are dedicated to what they do. They love what they do. And you can tell because they are so passionate about seeing everybody succeed. Unfortunately, everybody don't. And you can tell when it does something to them. But they are very passionate about what they do. I appreciate them. Also, Joseph House plays a big part in it too, because that's where you get your instructions, how to deal with everyday life, how to deal with your addiction. And you have people that are placed in positions, and the Joseph House is ran by Alicia Patterson. She is the executive director, and she keeps them wheels rolling. Shout out to her at the Joseph House. Also, Mike and Brendan, who is our peer support. They got us, split up in groups. You got 2 different groups. You got A, which is Alpha, and B, which is Bravo. And the numerous counselors and therapists and everything, I mean, they keep us on a straight line. And it takes a lot of people to get results just for one individual. And they really pour in what they're doing. They pour their heart into it. And I really appreciate them. I know there's other people out there too. So a shout out to all of them that's in the vet court and all of them that's in the Joseph House that make all this happen. It takes them all. And it really, really, it's amazing to see how many people are behind you. If there's people out there that have vets in this position, reach out. Then, reach out to the court. Reach out to your lawyer, like Mitchell said. Reach out to a public defender. Like, hey, do you think we can get them in vet court? That'll get the ball rolling.
Now, you were talking about the services that you get at Joseph House and in the Veterans Treatment Court connects you with. Could you go a little bit more in depth about like what types of services that you have gotten that have helped you establish yourself, in the community?
You get coping skills to be out, in the world. You also have you learn to be sober. Sobriety is there. You take classes, and the classes are geared for you to understand why you do what you do. In other words, it gives you an insight to yourself where you have to turn around and look into yourself. Because if you notice, a lot of people that are addicts or alcoholics, there's always a reason for them to be an addict or alcoholic, but they never look at themselves and say, well, I'm doing this because of something somebody else did. It's a blame game, Or I'm drinking because somebody teed me off. Or I'm doing drugs because I want to forget. And then what happens is you got to understand, once that drug or alcohol wears off, it's still there. So they learn you how to deal with life lessons, and deal with life on life terms. Even because you're sober, that don't mean the people that are sober don't have the same problems we have. So I would rather, go this route and, try the high side of things. Number two, it keeps me out of trouble. Waking up in jail is not fun, and you don't remember why you're there. And unfortunately, some of us don't have this opportunity of that second chance or getting that reprieve because we wake up and something bad done happened and we don't remember, and we so deep into it that it's almost impossible to dig our way out of that hole. So being that we can catch it now and work on ourselves now is a big part of what the organization does. It shows you responsibility for yourself, responsibility for your actions and your choices. Because with choices come consequences. So if you do something, you might want to play the tape all the way through first, and see if that's where you want to go. Because, again, like I said, with your choice come a consequence. Are you willing to live with that consequence? That's the number one question you got to ask yourself.
Well, before I pass this mic to Black Evie, are you allowed to share some of the in-house amenities in addition to the supportive services that you get? Because it's not just about the services for mental health or substance abuse or that type of issue. It's also about sustaining yourself. You still got to survive. Like, you got to have some place to stay.
Mm-hmm.
You got to do your daily business each day. Like, Are you allowed to share what amenities are provided for you in the program?
Yeah, of course. I mean,
Okay.
it's public knowledge. Your house, you have your separate housing. You have your own private space and everything. You get 3 meals a day if you're there. You after a certain amount of time being there, I guess to me it's called clarifying your brain time. After a certain amount of time, there's phases there too. The first 30 days, of course, they want you to calm down, get your thoughts together. You know what I mean? Because it takes some time to get your mind right for what you're about to attempt. They teach you how to, take care of your bills. You also have people that come in, the VA come in, they get you what's called VA connected. That means your hospitals, your other stuff that you need, like if you need your feet are bad and you need orthopedic shoes, they got people for that. If your health is bad, they got a way to get you there. They transport you back and forth to wherever you need to go, as long as it's legit. They're not going to take you to the strip club or anything like that. But like if you need to go to the doctor, you got appointments, or you need to get, like basic things, birth certificate, social security card. Because, unfortunately, a lot of us out there, we get out there in the street and we start losing things. I call it losing your identity, because you can't prove who you are if you had to. So they help you out with a lot of that. They have therapy there, so you can go talk to somebody about your issues, and work out a plan on how to overcome them. They have equine therapy. They did, take them out with horses. And there's other activities that they have. They have meetings, AA meetings, NA meetings, just in-house meetings, where the guys meet themselves, there's no outside influences, just us. And, we go at it with each other. And, that's kind of therapeutic too. And we are all veterans. It is a veterans program. We are all veterans. And we are all, like I said, we're either under discharge or we haven't committed a violent crime. So, or one of the 7 deadly sins.
Yeah, laundry services.
Oh, we got laundry room, exercise room, computer, a house computer. We got what's called a lounge. That's our own basic kitchens on our floors. We have 2 separate floors, and we also have a cafeteria with a kitchen, and we have outside people bring us some very good food. So, we don't even have to worry about how we're going to buy something to eat, unless we just want something different. It's everything is basically taken care of for you. All you have to do is do what you need to be doing. I mean, that's the only way I can put it, plain and simple. And again, there's other programs here in Hamilton County that do the same thing. But again, I think Joseph House is awesome. And they don't put you in a position where you think you're confined. They are very welcoming and professional. And like this is a veteran organization. Majority of the people that we deal with on a day-to-day basis, they are veterans and also had some type of addiction. So they understand.
And we don't want to leave out mental health.
Oh, mental health, of course. I mean, if you're an addict or alcoholic, that's a mental health issue in itself. So, yeah, you're right, mental health.
But I don't want it to get mixed up just because you have one, you automatically have the other, because that's not true.
No, it's not true. But you do have what's called a co-occurring
you do.
Thing, and it does have something to do with mental health and substance abuse too. So
yes, and being that I'm a person that suffers from mental health, I don't have a substance abuse problem.
Yeah, thank God for that.
What you say? I'm crazy enough already.
Oh, that's
you know what? The mic off you, Black Evie. But he fired. He is fired. So
Okay. First, I'm going to say to the vet, because we're giving a really, it seems like we painting a little vacation picture.
yeah, I know, right?
Right. Especially with the information I'm about to give after this. But it is not a vacation. This is a rehabilitation center. It is there for the vets to rehabilitate. So don't go there thinking that this is the drop-in center. This is just going to be a place to stay for a minute. No, it sounds like a place where you have to, when you go there, you have to commit. Now, with that, JMAC, is this program only mandated, or is it only court mandated, or can vets walk in from off the street and say, hey, I really need help, can I utilize this program?
Yeah, it's for all kind of vets. It's for you can be homeless and you just got caught up because you couldn't. The rent got too high for you for your budget, and you needed a place to regroup until they can get you housing or whatever. There's 3 different phases of the program itself. You got residents. I'm not gonna go into what the resident. Then you got the people that moves to IOP. Then you got OP, and then you got what's called SI. SI are the people that come in like they're elder people, maybe elder veterans, and like I said, they got overwhelmed with their like their rent went up too high for them or whatever, and they just couldn't maintain it. So they come there and they're put into a program where they can get HUD VAS or assisted living, whatever their needs are. The way I said that was the way I meant it. That's why, because if in there, it's like that's like being in heaven to me. Because you add that to being in jail and being there, it is like a resort. I'm gonna just put it to you like that. Now, of course, because if you want to split hairs, you got to do the same thing in jail. In jail, you got rules and regulations you got to follow, or they're gonna put you in the hole. Okay, in Joseph House or in any other program like this, you got rules and regulations you follow, but you don't have lockdowns. You don't, so that if you ask an event and say, hey, they're gonna make it sound like a resort because it is,
that's the guillotine queen.
Yeah,
so
I knew she was coming, but I was ready for that one. And
I said,
I know
I
you.
gotta ask the question.
Yeah,
So now,
it's all good.
with all that being said, I am going to expand on something that you were talking about earlier, J-Mac, and that is the phases of the court program structure. The Hamilton County Felony Veterans Treatment Court. So this court is divided up into 5 individual phases.
Yes.
And it's closely monitored. Your progress is closely monitored and reported to the judge.
Yes.
And advancement through the phases is dependent on the completion of the specific criterion for each phase of the treatment in reference to the individual. Okay?
Yes.
So that's the structure of the program. They have 5 phases. I'm going to go through them real quick, briefly for you. Phase 1 is orientation, of course. The vet is assigned a case manager, a probation officer, and a peer mentor. This peer mentor will provide an overview of the program to the veteran. The veteran's needs will be assessed and addressed by the treatment team, and the orientation, just as you mentioned earlier, it lasts no less than 30 days because it's that 30-day reset to get your mind right, as J-Mac mentioned earlier. Phase 2 is the treatment plan development. The veteran will work with the treatment team to develop a treatment plan. So the veteran and the treatment team work together. This is just not somebody dictating to the veteran what they need to do. The veteran is in on this plan. Together with the treatment team, the veteran will formulate personal achievement goals in addition to treatment plan goals, all right? Like GEDs, vocational, educational needs, counseling, maybe anger management, maybe some parenting skills. So this is phase 2, and it lasts roughly 90 days, okay? Because you got to get in there. You got to teach. Sometimes people have to be re-taught. You got to learn something completely over in a different way. Phase 3 is ongoing treatment. The treatment plan will be updated by the veteran and his counselor to identify treatment goals and objectives. So they check in with you to make sure that your treatment is going on schedule. Maybe there are some things that have to be tweaked. That's where you would do that. Counseling and meetings will focus on areas that are challenging, and they'll identify ways of coping with the stressful situation. Phase 3 lasts a minimum of 90 days. All right, we're moving on to phase 4. This sounds like some time, y'all, but this is time that you are investing in yourself to get your health, your mental health, whatever your issues may be. It takes time to get those things right, okay? This 30 days ain't gonna get it, all right? So phase 4, stabilization. Ongoing recovery needs to be assessed, including maintaining total abstinence from all drugs, okay, all drugs and alcohol use. This phase focuses on daily living skills and is designed to support the veteran in returning to the community as a productive and responsible member of society. This phase 4 lasts a minimum of 120 days. Fifth and final phase is the achievement/graduation. All right, phase 5 will help the veteran successfully transition from a lifestyle within the veteran's treatment court structure to a lifestyle more representative of what participants will experience following graduation, once they go back out into the real world, okay? So phase 5 lasts a minimum of 120 days. And those are the phases of the Hamilton County Felony Veterans Treatment Court. They take time, they give you a wraparound service, and they are trying to rehabilitate the individual. And that takes time. The end.
Ooh, you need to get you some Gatorade. You dropped nuggets. Yes, it's definitely a wraparound. You have the phases. My first question to you, J-Mac, what phase are you in?
I don't know yet.
Oh.
Because I when I go back, I'll find out. Right now, I'm in phase 1, but I'm gonna go ahead and go a little further with what he said. In your first 30 days, you go every week. Okay. Now, before you even go to court, the judge, Greg Street, the PO already know what you did. You ain't got to explain nothing to them. It comes straight from the house. Okay? So whatever you go in there and tell them, you better be telling them the same thing the house told them. So it does, they know what you're doing. They know, just like I'm on the radio. They know I'm on the radio. Just like they know I'm doing my treatment. They know I'm doing my treatment. I ain't got to explain that to them. Okay? Now, I found out I went from every week to every other week. So that means I must be phasing up. Okay, I'm not sure, but that's how it's done. Now, like Evie said, the 30, 60, 90-day plan, it's there to give you a guideline, but you can push it quicker than that.
Oh, yeah, we know that, don't we, Black Evie?
It just depends on the individual, you know. And then, like I said, then you come to graduation. And once you're in graduation, you're done with the program and, whatever deals y'all came up with or whatever is how it goes. That is just a guideline. But again, you can either or. They can even slow you down if you're not, meeting what they want you to meet. They can kind of slow you down, back you up a little bit, be like, hey, you know what, you need to pick up your pace or whatever. Like I said, it's just not a cakewalk. It's not a resort, Evie.
No, it's not. But I would say just based off of what we had, the journey that Mitri and I have been along with you on,
mm-hmm.
I would venture to say that you are definitely in phase 3 of the program structure, which is the ongoing treatment. And I say that because you've already done the orientation
mm-hmm.
and the treatment plan has been developed and you've been working the plan for some time.
Right.
So if anywhere, I would say ongoing treatment, maybe even stabilization, but definitely ongoing treatment. Look into that.
Well, that's why I like you, Evie. But let me give you another part of it too, because that's interesting that you said that. You do not necessarily have to be a resident of the program to still be in the program. Okay.
Oh, good information.
Yeah. Well, you lit a light bulb when you said that, because I can actually get housing and be outside of the building, and I can still do the program. Like I can still go to my classes. You know what I'm saying? I can still do everything I'm doing, for what I'm doing, but I don't have to be in the building, okay? And that's also a part of the phase up too. Responsibility. See, they want you to be responsible. It's like they're giving you a little push, like, come on, like the mother bird, pushing the baby out the nest, and you're going to fly, you're going to hit the ground. And that's basically the concept. So yeah, you lit a light bulb when you said that. Yes, it's not like you got to be there for the whole 120 days. Yeah, it's not a doom and gloom thing like, oh, I'm here. No, it depends on you. It depends on how you progress in the program.
Now, I have a quick question for you first. Is this a gender specific program?
No,
Okay. So with that being said, we can work on our takeaways. It is available to both male and female. That's great to know. But my takeaway for the day is return on investment. You are your most important investment. ROI shall always equal ME. And that doesn't matter if you're a veteran or a civilian. Remember, you're your most important investment. I'm so glad that Cincinnati decided, and Hamilton County decided to take the leadership role in bringing this program to Ohio, and it is offered in Hamilton County. And it in itself could be a hidden resource, because until we got to where we got to get with JMAC, I never even heard of this. And I actually used to work at the Hamilton County Justice Center in the jail, and I've never heard of this at all. And it's a good kept secret that I think a lot of veterans would benefit from, and getting to know is pledges to try to bring resources to our struggling communities, especially seniors and veterans and those suffering from mental health and or substance abuse. Again, I would like to give a shout out to the Veterans Treatment Court, Judge Wagner, Brittany Mills, the key players, the PLO, Ralph Sanders, the VA case manager, Annie Karp, the courtroom coordinator, Greg Street, the bailiff, Cheryl Vest, urine screen. Oh,
you don't need no urine.
Okay, the Veterans Crisis Line. You can always dial 988 and press 1, or if you need to dial 800-273-8255 from a regular telephone. I really appreciate the court sharing this with us, and we do need to give some kind of homage to the court sometimes. That's a tough role to play. You deciding about people's lives when you're in court, and a lot of us, look at it as a lightweight situation. We shouldn't do that. Let's give them. They're like a first responder to me, because they encountered you in a very trying time in your life. So I'm happy to shout those people out, and always to Joseph House too. Black Evie, I guess you're up next, and J Mac, you'll take us out.
I'm gonna just say this: J-Mac and Mitri. I absolutely love how well-rounded, intellectual, and how much of a wraparound service we give as far as information for our audience. Ever since J-Mac has joined the team, I mean, when we get off of the air, I am intellectually fed.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like seriously. This is not an hour of static, and I really appreciate you joining the team, J-Mac. I just really love it. Another thing I'm gonna say is, Mitri,
Mm-hmm.
you poured a lot into me as I was growing up. Mitri helped raise me out. Okay, that's my auntie. She poured a lot into me, and I do take after her in a lot of ways. Athletically, I don't at all. But how I wished I would have picked that up from you,
Oh.
because I would have went to the military, and I would be a vet. Okay,
She be sitting right here.
I miss my butt. But to those out there, look into the military and serving the country. I know right now our representation ain't that great, but this is a moment in time, a blip on the screen in comparison to the total picture. So, if you're interested in the military, look into that. It's a great thing to do in life. Great thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, thank you for joining, and I'll see you next week, everybody.
Thank you for the love, Black Evie.
Thank you, Evie. Thought for the day. Even if you are on the right track, you'll get ran over if you just sit there. Okay.
Oh.
Little fellas and ladies, be happy, get healthy, free your mind. I'm J Mac, and I approve this message. Peace.
I second. Peace. One love always.